Hi, my name's Colin Barker. I am the head chef at the Boathouse, Black Bottle Bay. I have been cooking professionally as a chef for about 16 years now, and a couple of years prior to that I got into the industry as a young fella as a kitchen hand. I guess it was just I was passionate about food as a kid. I liked eating. Mum was a great cook. My grandparents were really good cooks. And I grew up in a rural area, so Mum grew most of the vegetables we ate as a kid. You know, we raised chickens and things like that for eggs and meat, so it was just something I was brought up with. I think ultimately it comes down to commitment. Just having, keeping your ears open, your mouth shut, and just being committed. If this is what you really want to do, then it's a big task. It's a big commitment, but it's very, very. Now that I've gotten through the apprenticeship and I've been around the world and worked in some amazing kitchens with amazing chefs, the fruits of the labour are starting to come through now. So definitely, it's just about commitment. Biggest achievement for me personally was I started my apprenticeship at a golf resort out in the Hawkesbury, and got given a book by my head chef at the time, and he said, when I'm done with you here, I'd like you to go and work at this restaurant. So we decided that night we were going to ring Bank Restaurant in Martin Place, which is no longer here, but it was the restaurant in Sydney at the time. I came in a couple of nights later for a trial and they offered me the job. I couldn't believe it. It was a bit bit numb. And that was, as an apprentice, that was my greatest achievement, was working at Bank. Definitely the biggest challenge was getting used to the lifestyle. It's very, very different, while all your mates have gone and done other things and their social hours, allow for weekends and things like that. As a chef, you're putting in the yards in the kitchen. So the big thing was the adjustment to the lifestyle that comes with chefing. The greatest traits you can have, or for me what I look for in my apprentices and young chefs coming through, is the ability to stay calm under pressure, to keep yourself together, to be collected, and commitment, dedication, once again, is a huge thing, but probably the biggest thing is staying calm under pressure. The most joy in my profession at the moment, aside from the amazing produce that we get to work with, we're spoilt being right next to the Sydney fish markets. Training the young guys, teaching them things that they never thought they were capable of. You see the look on their face when they complete it for the first time. And the other thing too is I've got my kitchen is on view. It looks like a massive fish tank, so we can watch when the food leaves the kitchen, goes in front of the customer, and it's the expression. It's the first taste, and then the spoon comes out and it goes to a friend on the table or their partner, and you see, you don't get the audio on it, but you get the visual, and that makes it all worthwhile. If it had to be as a head chef, it would be surrounding yourself with the right people. As a chef on the day-to-day, once again, it's the lifestyle challenge. It's balancing everything. It can be done. A lot of people say it can't. I've got two beautiful children, a beautiful wife, and they all still talk to me, so it can be balanced. Probably being pig-headed. No compromise. I had a very, very clear plan as a young apprentice that it was all or nothing, and made a lot of sacrifices along the way, and worked really, really hard. And I think that's just determination and grit that has gotten me there. The one thing that I kick myself constantly over nowadays is I was probably a little lax on writing recipes down when I was a young'un, and I thought, that'll be right, I'll remember it. There's been a lot of recipes go through, and every now and again you get a flashback and you think, I wish I still had that. You go through your book and you go, I didn't write it down. So write everything down. Have your book, get it in there. Nowadays, it's challenging, but also it's the challenge that inspires you to come up with the different bits and pieces and making things work. Dietary requirements are a massive thing nowadays, so you've got to be very, very conscious. I do a lot of fishing locally here off the rock platforms of Sydney and the local rivers and things like that. So, you know, seasonality. You know, if I'm out there catching it, you know, I know that it's available on the market. I know when it's going to be at its best. It also, I've fished all my life, so it gives me the opportunity when I am kicking around the markets. I know what to look for, you know, to make sure that I'm getting the best product available. When looking for fish, vibrancy is the first thing. So, you know, use your eyes and then use your nose. Have a little look. The fish has got to have a glossy luster about it. And everyone says about the gills being bright and red, the eyes being clear, not glazed over. The other thing to look for is scale damage. How long is that fish spent in the ice? A good piece of fish will not smell like fish. Fresh seafood doesn't have the odour about it. When looking for crustacea, we deal with a lot of live crustacea in the restaurant. If it is live, it's got to be feisty and it's got to feel heavy for its size. You know, if it's not heavy for its size, it's been, you know, stressing out, or it's been in the box for a little bit too long, or what it happens to be. So nice feisty, nice firm shells, you know, and nice clear looking shells as well. Biggest challenges, once again, it comes back to the lifestyle. I've just dealt with it with a number of apprentices, and it gets very, very hard, particularly once you're a couple of months in and you're seeing your mates going out and being social, and you're working that Saturday night, or you're on the Friday night, or what it happens to be. That's probably one of the greatest challenges. And when you do line chefing up as a trade, as opposed to some of the other, it is hard work. And it's very easy to feel sorry for yourself, but long term, if you can put your head down, it's very, very rewarding. Be open-minded, be eager to learn, keep your knife sharp and your board clean. Young apprentices, like, the world's your oyster, really, pardon the pun. The chefs at the moment it's the latest rock star. So there's so much media coverage, and we've got a great food culture going on at the moment. Everyone's into their eating out, or even the cooking at home. You've only got to look at the availability of produce now in your chain supermarkets, and we've really lifted our game. So there's a massive market for young chefs, and there's a massive future to travel and to eat in some of the best restaurants in the world, work in some of the best restaurants in the world, and there's great media opportunities as well.